Welcome, everyone. We're just here at the Bad Dinner Guest Roundtable. I'm Nathan. I've got to my left here, we got Jor-El Mono,
What's going on?
RJ,
Yo.
and Kev.
Frig off.
Fuck you, Leahy.
That's a good start.
So we're just all sitting here having some beers, talking. I think Jor-El had something you want to talk about.
Yeah, I just wanted to pretty much come out, say that I am addicted to social media. The very first thing I do when I wake up is I open Facebook. I turn the brightness on my screen, and I go to Facebook. I say it's to help me wake up, but it might just be I really want to see what's going on Facebook. Walking through work through the tunnel, I'm scrolling through Facebook. I was thinking about Facebook when I thought to bring it up tonight.
Yeah, that's funny. I think I noticed you posted something about your addiction earlier.
Yes.
So you think? Because I don't feel like I'm addicted to Facebook at least. I feel obligated to Twitter a lot. Like I have to spend a lot of time on Twitter, but I don't. Sometimes I like it. Most of the times I don't.
I cannot get with Twitter. I can't tell you why. I can't. I'm trying.
You're not missing much, especially right now.
Twitter's that like band that you listened to like 8 years ago and you just couldn't get into. But then you listen to them again and you're like, why did I can do this. This ain't bad.
Are you sure it's not the Nickelback of the social media world?
See, Nickelback to me is like Zanga. I got into them when I was really young and it died real quick.
Can somebody explain to me what's so wrong? What's so bad about Nickelback?
Just I don't know.
They're so easy to target just because they are that like genre like defining.
It just goes to show you perception. You know why Nickelback sucks? Because enough people have said it out loud and verbalized it. So now people who've never even heard Nickelback will openly tell you how bad that Nickelback sucks because that's what they hear. So somewhere along the line, someone decided to say it, and it started to get popular, and
now it's just a thing.
now it's just a thing. That at least that's my kind of take on it.
So what's
That's
your
my
favorite
take on a lot
Nickelback
of
song
stuff.
then?
Well,
Hero. Is it Hero? The
Is
one
it
I did for
Hero?
Spider-Man?
The Spider-Man one.
Yeah.
Okay. See?
That's
Back
actually
in
the
Zanga
only song
days.
I know. I won't even
Well,
lie. There might be one more.
I mean, to be fair, they do sell a lot of records and whatnot, but I just think it's the same commercialized song with the same goddamn lyrics half the time.
Yeah, well, so
You go with what works.
AC/DC did the same thing.
I'm not
AC/DC
saying I
did
like
literally the same thing.
I'm not saying it like AC/DC here, though, either, so...
No, that's fair. But like AC/DC, they just did the same. Like it's a really good song. Don't get me wrong, but they played the same song 20 times in a row for 20 years.
Although,
And they kept buying.
People kept buying new stuff.
I do like Thunderstruck, though, if we're going to be real there.
Is that a Nickelback song?
No, that's a AC/DC song.
Okay. You got a favorite Nickelback song?
I can tolerate Burn It to the Ground, but that was only because it was in a movie.
Might
can't
be the same
remember.
with Spider-Man.
Transformers.
What was the one that they got famous off of?
Photograph?
No, the one before Photograph.
Silver.
I liked X, I think was the name of it.
It's the
Are you sure it's not Photograph?
no. It's the one where he's like, "These 5 words in my head." You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that is that them? I thought that was Creed.
That was almost
You know
spot
what?
on.
No,
thought was
I
Creed.
sang it in a Creed voice, but yeah, you know, Mono knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, he says yeah a bunch.
Fucking Chad Kruger.
That was the first song because I loved that one.
Chad Kruger's the Guy Fieri of lead singers.
That was the Nickelback's first hit, but I can't remember what the song is called. It's driving me nuts. I know Nate will have it here in a second. Yep, into the bottom of every bottle.
I know that's Nickelback.
That was the one that.
Fuck it, I'm a fan.
They got big off that one.
I know that song and like
And
that
then the
one
one
too.
is like the one about we all want to be rock stars. I like
When
that
We Stand
song.
Together, is that what it is?
The music video for that, it was kind of interesting.
That song was cool when I was 15 and 16. I think it's funny because I was, especially when you're a teenager, you're openly like, yeah, dude, Nickelback sucks. But
Does
it's like,
the,
I totally had a Nickelback CD in the car. You know?
Does the hit "How You Remind Me" ring a bell?
That's the one. Ding, ding,
Okay.
ding, ding.
What is it?
"How You Remind Me."
That was their
okay.
first hit, yeah. And then Rock Stars
I have to look
was
that one
the
up.
other big one.
Yeah, and then they put like 4 songs. Well, not 4 songs. So they put like 2 or 3 on the first Transformers soundtrack.
Does Chad Kruger look like Nicolas Cage, or is it just me?
Hey, don't.
I've
put-
never seen them in the same place.
Long
Don't-
enough. I couldn't say.
The lead singer of Nickelback.
I'm not
Hey,
saying.
so
Does it look like niggas?
So I just want to interrupt, and Lou put in the group me. He said, "Listening to Nickelbacks will give you herpes."
Yes. So thank you for being his proxy. I appreciate that. I would have missed that, and that thought needed to be said. Well, you were talking about your addiction, though.
I miss
like,
Lou. Yeah.
yeah, I know. Yeah, hopefully we have Lou in here for one of these real soon. Well, you were talking about your social media addiction, right? Is anybody
that
else?
was it. I
Anybody
got it.
else? Well, yeah, that's
I
what
just
I was
wanted to
saying.
get that off my chest.
I mean,
That's all.
Nate probably,
Get
for
it off.
instance, could agree. You have what, like 12,000 tweets at this point on one Twitter handle?
It does look like niggas.
Yeah, on my first and really my personal one there. Yeah, it's like over 11, but I've had it since like 2008, 2009.
Is that herpes?
No, thank God. But I mean, I guess I check it, but it's also good for me too, because especially if I'm like working or something and I can't like catch the score of, say Cubs game or whatever, and I'm not able to listen, at least I can get notifications sent to me to keep track and as close to real time as possible.
But like, so you're not addicted to it by your own measure.
I'm probably on it more than I should be, to be honest, but I don't necessarily think I'm addicted.
Okay. Manya, what about you, man?
Yes.
Yeah.
But this is also part of my life. I work in IT, so it's kind of. But yeah, I fall in the same category as bro. I'm actually ashamed to admit it because it's easily accessible. Like you said, you wake up, it's right there in front of your face. You don't have to go to an actual news source because Facebook tells you exactly what you need to hear. It's kind of like cheating, but
I don't trust.
well,
To be
if everybody's saying the same thing, then it might be a little it has to have some sort of relevance.
No, I follow no news.
You know
on my
what
Facebook.
gets me on that though, because you mentioned the news, is a lot of people on there, and this is a matter of them not checking sources, will post an article from like the New Yorker or like Freewood Post or things along those lines. Well, no, but that's all satire. That's all fake news, and they pass it off as real.
Sometimes it gets annoying, especially. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's an addiction. I'm definitely addicted. More so
I'm glad you
on
can say that.
Facebook than Twitter.
Did you get it off your chest? Is it
Yeah,
going now?
a little
Cool.
bit. It does actually make you feel like a little better.
Get it off your
Yeah.
chest.
Yeah. And like,
You admitted it.
yeah, I should probably come
Let it out
to
there.
a realization as well. Yeah. I mean, I would like to think that I'm not, but I probably am. I don't, because I'm sure you guys see I'm not incredibly active on it.
No.
Like I'm not on my Facebook hardly at all as far as like posting stuff. But
I'm not.
like it's a way I keep tabs on people, I guess. But what scares me about it is like we all just said like we don't use it as a news source, right? But we read what ends up on our feed, and outside of going through and hiding people's posts and unfollowing them, you only have a certain amount of control over what's on your homepage there, on your feed. And I would be one who would argue that we don't really recognize the full effects of even just reading something once, even should we not believe in it. Just the effect on the subconscious. Like once your brain receives a message, I kind of truly believe that message stays with you, whether you believe in it or not. Part of it stays behind, and you don't really have any say over that. You can that's one of the things that scares me. I think that's where so much of this, this uninformed sort of hate that has come to the forefront. Well, we should. I know we talked about it at length the last time, but we are kind of in just a role reversal of where we were around this time 8 years ago. Like, I don't know if you guys remember it. I remember just being so hurt at the bigotry and racism posted after Barack Obama won his first election. I couldn't get on Facebook for 2 weeks. Like, it actually hurt me.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, but might be a bit of an exaggeration.
After I celebrated, I left it alone. It was really that bad.
So yeah, it was rough. It was different sides being angry, of course, but it's something that kind of has pulled at me. I haven't been on it much this week because every time I get on it, I get physically like depressed. Like I feel myself get more sad the more I scroll.
Do you want the good news?
The further down my Facebook feed. What's that?
It's almost over. Like,
Hey,
the people that were so butthurt are coming around. Well, that too. And I'm starting to worry about you, Kev. But no, like, it's coming around on social media if you're watching it. Now they're acting like the Republicans got trolled. And they're like, look at he's not canceling everything that every buddy that also didn't like Trump but wasn't a Democrat's been saying the entire time. Like, hey, we don't like him because he's not going to really do this with Obamacare, and he's not going to do all this other shit. They're realizing, oh yeah, he did say all of this shit, and then he starts to do it, and they're like, oh look, the Republicans got trolled. He just said it so he could get the racists to vote for him. Ha 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 ha.
Like
ha.
every president.
So they're finally coming out of the depression, and they're giving themselves whatever it is they need to hear. And, like, it's fine. It's great. They're coming. It'll be okay. In another week, we'll just be back to same old, like we knew we would be.
No, this will last longer, but you always got to give them something to talk about.
Agree.
So it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going.
I just want a proxy here for Lou. He just told me. Oh, okay, that works out. He said, "Why research what you hear when it's easier to believe what you want?" And that goes back to what Kevin was saying about, things jumping in your brain and staying there. Lou also said, I use Facebook for headlines. If it intrigues, I'll jump down the rabbit hole. So if he wants to go ahead and explain that, go ahead. But basically, I'm guilty of this myself, but people will only like certain news sources or certain pages because that's what they agree with. So, Facebook as a news source within itself, I don't think is a very great thing due to the fact you're basically just preaching to the choir and, jacking off your ego there.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, that doesn't mean your brain doesn't process it as news. There's a reason in documentaries they take moments where they stop narrating to you and they just play some faint music and they have words scroll down the screen because your brain associates reading it to it being more true. It's a simple parlor trick, but you think about things like that and it's like, do you know anybody, like I'm one of them. I always take notes physically of anything because writing it down and reading it reinforces it into my memory.
Yeah.
So and we like to pretend that like it'll work, that these little tricks, they work one way but not the other. It's like, oh, well, I can control it, like, because I'm in control of my brain. It's not just another organ of my body like anything else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, remember who it is in your mind that's telling you have control over your brain. Like, it's your brain. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much are you actually going to trust it? So little things like that, like it. I'm just saying it can slip in whether you are receiving it, whether you are for it or against it. That's why Facebook scares me. I think that's why we get the next time you catch yourself pulling a fact that you haven't fact checked out in an argument, I want you to stop and think about this conversation we're having right now and try to chase back, where did I pull that from? Because I'm pulling it out of my head as if it's fact. Mm-hmm. I'm presenting it in a conversation as if it's fact. Where did it actually come from? Because I catch myself daily.
You know how much digging that goes into?
Yeah, but you want to start fixing the world. I think that's where you do it. You start taking care of you,
I practice self-love every day.
It's self-care.
Well, that also
Self-care
is key to your vitality.
Shoot, I had something on the top of my head. And
well, that's why you need a notepad, son.
You saying, like, when you see something that sticks in your head, how often do people quote a headline they read without ever even looking as a source as a fact, without even reading the context? and like that's their news though.
RJ,
A lot of people.
we all know you're guilty of that all
Oh
the time.
yeah, terrible about it. No. That's one thing. Like before I ever repost anything, I always first I look at who said it, and then I at least open it up and see if the headline is just like context of something that somebody else said about somebody, or if there's something to back it up. Kind of like Lucky was saying with just like going down the rabbit hole if it's interesting. But yeah, I don't really get into the clickbait kind of shit. It annoys me.
Sometimes it's cool to troll like that though, because then people get super worked up and angry and be keyboard warriors there, feeling all big and tough here, when in real life, they're
I like to argue, so I'll just go on with it.
See, I like to debate. I hate to argue. Arguments get nasty real quick. They turn into, it doesn't even matter. It becomes like no holds barred conversation. It doesn't even at a certain point.
Insults, I'm okay with that.
Well, even if it doesn't get to insults, it'll turn into like non-relevant. Like we were arguing about this one topic, but then it turns into, instead of a debate, it's an argument, and then it can be well, your credibility is lacking because of what you did over here. You're clearly not smart. You know what I mean? It starts to branch out. Like that's why I like the construct of trying to debate over a topic rather than to just get in an argument with someone. Because the more worked up, the more emotional you get, the more likely you are to just pull something from over here and be like, oh yeah, well, what about this thing that you did 3 years ago, you scumbag? I'm being hyperbolic here, but I see people in arguments. They take it's personal as well. I'm just trying to I like to have fun with these examples, but
you're a writer, Kevin. Everything is from experience.
Yeah, Kevin. But no, this deals more with Twitter, but you see all the time, people make comments on there, really bad comments. Like, for example, the Cubs' first draft pick this year, I think is a Cardinals fan actually. When he was growing up and whatnot, and he made a comment about the Cubs sucking and whatnot, and of course there's so things like that. People, they also need to be careful how they word things, not necessarily what they say, so it doesn't bite them back in the ass a couple years down the road.
Well, and that's what's funny. That shit's permanent. That's what's the funny thing about those keyboard warriors. Like once it's up there, man, it's there for good. I suggest anybody who finds himself repentant over Facebook post, try a journal. You get to write down all the shit you get to get off your chest, and no one's judging you for it later. It's fantastic. It's so liberating. And then you don't get all bottled up.
That's what I like about those Facebook memories coming up
that's
every
what
day, because I get to
slowly
delete out shit.
Oh yeah, I'm
like, oh my god,
I told Kevin
why was I allowed to have one of these as a junior in high school?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I feel like
There's an entire year of just lyrics, basically.
Well, it also brings up like shit with like exes and stuff, because I was telling Kev the other day, all this shit with my one ex will keep popping up.
See, I was never big on like tagging, and I don't take a lot of pictures, so I don't have to worry about that shit. Most of the time when I was in a relationship, my Facebook still said single. Just because I don't want like everybody to know whether like when I'm going through relationship shit, I don't want to have to.
I don't have a relationship
it on Facebook.
status
RJ broke
on
up
mine.
with what's her tits.
I'm a victim of that shit.
Yeah,
But-
right.
You guys don't need to know that. It's none of your fucking business.
No, speaking of cringeworthy,
It's a dating site.
Facebook?
That one little thing right there. Sorry, that one
You're
little
fine.
thing right there makes it a dating site.
Oh yeah, because all
it
the
will make
all
sure
the
to
dudes
let you
get to be like,
know.
oh, she's free again.
Well, not to
Yeah.
mention okay. Can we put a pin in this? I want to know what Nate has to say, but I have a
please
whole
do.
nother thing for this. Okay.
Sorry about that. I know you're itching to get at this, but speaking of cringeworthy, I checked the memories thing today. I also have Time Hop, and I think like 5 years ago today, like my girlfriend at the time and she posted a wall post, and it was just the cheesiest fucking terrible pickup lines. We kept going back and forth, and it was kind of cringeworthy, to be honest. It was 30 comments long, too. Then
Did you delete it?
What?
Did you delete it?
No.
I always
probably.
delete when
That's
shit
an
like that
option?
comes up. I delete it.
Didn't even know it was an option.
Yeah, it's an option.
I very often see those memories, and I'm like, former Kev, I just don't like you very much.
I said the same thing. Like, bro, you said some stupid shit. Like,
Yeah, man. I'm like,
what the
Jesus,
Like, you
man.
just-
You are selling me on journals right now as we talk about this, Kevin.
Dude,
You really are.
it is liberating. Like I have a journal just for that, just for my private thoughts that don't include any work
It's not
stuff.
very private. I've seen it.
Well, he was out of town that weekend. He didn't know about that.
You saw that was my decoy journal,
Oh,
please.
damn.
Everybody has a good decoy journal. Come on. You think the one buried in the backyard is my real journal? But you were saying something. You guys, we were talking about Facebook and relationships. All on top of just whether or not you're in one, like if it says, Kevin is now dating
Yeah.
Trisha. Like those.
I don't feel like
I should
you're
have said
a Trisha
Tanya.
guy.
I should have said Tanya.
I don't feel
I
like you're a
Yeah, I
Tanya.
feel like I'm more of a Tanya kind of guy.
Kevin and Tanya.
But let's
That would
say,
never work.
like, what happens if, like former
Katie?
Kev, old Kev, the Kev that used to just again post song lyrics and stuff. Old Kev would see something like, "Oh, hey, that dude Grant keeps liking all your profile pictures. Like, what the fuck's up? Like, who's Grant? I need to talk to Grant over here. Like, what's going on?" You see what I'm saying? You guys talked about it as a dating site, and there are those factors
Grant-
where you have like those
Grant
thirsty
is-
dudes who just like
Yeah.
like every hot chick they have that's a friend. They're like, "Ooh, yeah, I like that picture. I'm just gonna let them know."
Grant.
You know, why not? Just let them know. Hey, just so you know, if you're ever single, I would hit that. That's basically what you're saying.
I do that
When-
unless they have over like
Yeah.
10 likes, and then I'm like, oh, I'm just building their ego at this point. So I won't do
Yeah.
it. And I always crack up because when they have like the 98 likes, the first like 5 names you see are always the same 5 dudes.
Yeah, and then
And it
what
cracks me up.
I love the next level up guys that like actually try to leave like the
Hey, cutie.
yeah. It's like, oh wow,
Damn.
looking good. You know, like they're trying to not be
Super
hitting on you.
cringeworthy pickup lines.
And they are the ones that really need a journal. But I'm kind of glad it's out in the open because at least you know they're creeps. But it works sometimes. Then you see them together like 6 months later on Facebook.
But that's what
That
I'm
creepy
saying.
shit works.
Yeah, you plant that seed, and then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy
you
because
do.
the dude who's actually with her is like, man, that dude Justin will not stop fucking leaving you little comments on your profile. What's up? What's going on with you two? And then it starts a riff, and then all of a sudden you don't trust her, so she's not comfortable. She leaves because you've become overbearing. And then all of a sudden, guess what? Guess what you also put into her head? Oh, that Justin dude is kind of cute. Like, you know what? It becomes a self-fulfilling goddamn prophecy. and it
Now she's
blows
got to
my
message
mind.
him and
Dude,
tell him to
that
quit
only
messaging
never
her.
happens in my case,
She's
so I
like-
don't know what you're talking about.
But you also just like you spend half of your day on Tinder, Nate. So
Fair enough.
Do you have the premium version?
I'm just messing with you. He doesn't do that. So what? We have different relationship experiences. I'm telling you,
I
like
know,
I
I was
have
just
been that
being-
overbearing dude in the past. I've seen it play out that way.
Oh, you mean? I'm sure every one of us at this table at some point or another has been that overbearing dude. Whether I think we're all old enough to not have some sort of relationship before Facebook or whatever. But like when you got the MySpace or the or you see messaging on like Yahoo Messenger or shit like that.
Did you dial up when you got on Yahoo Messenger? Shit.
Here's the deal. Clearly, all of us can honestly say we have some sort of addiction to social media.
Oh, yeah.
Just from the experience we're talking about at the table right now. It's kind of disgusting when you think about it. Like all the little shit you used to do when you were younger, and you look at it now, like
You're
Dude, if it wasn't for social media, would we be sitting in this room recording right now?
right?
That's
we
the other
really,
thing, though. Yeah,
you really don't have an option. It's kind of like
It's Pandora's
inevitable,
box.
of some sort, to some extent.
Everything is right.
As much as I hate it, I kind of like it because it opens up to building a network outside of the typical bases.
Yeah.
I've gotten laid because of like links through social networking, but I've also gotten like job opportunities because of it.
Me
I mean,
too.
it goes across the board, so it's not completely negative.
No.
But you got to remember when you're on there, you're like half building your own brand, even if you're just typical Joe, because people look at that shit.
Well, yeah.
It's who you are.
But people put like their personal. I friended a chick on there from my hometown. That's the whitest of trash ever.
Kevin.
And
Kevin
the
and
only
are
reason I
laughing at
friended
you.
her is because even though we weren't friends, she was always in so much drama. I would see her shit on my like feed anyway,
Yeah.
and it was always hysterical shit about her back and forth with her baby daddy that's in and out of jail.
I hate
And,
those.
like,
all
baby daddies.
you whatevers,
Ah.
like whatever, I don't know, but
Wow, RJ.
She'd be like, "You need to quit hitting on me. He's getting out." And then like 2 weeks later, she'd be like, "He's out getting pills again. I'm so tired of his games. Who wants to give me some good dick?" And it would all be within 2 weeks. And it was just, it's the funniest. It was the funniest shit ever. So I had to friend her, of course, and now I get that every day. And it's beautiful. But I wonder how she's ever going to get a job. Or she has friends somehow still.
Welfare, man. That's going to be her job.
You're not wrong. I don't know that you're wrong. I really don't.
That is a career.
I really don't know her life.
I'm not necessarily dissing welfare in the short term or for
I know
people
exactly
who
what
are
you mean.
absolutely
But
need
for-
something.
I'm just say.
Some people are on it to get off. Some people are on it to live that
To
lifestyle.
live
People are on
that
it to get
period.
off.
There's no
There's
outcome. That's it.
Dude, I couldn't tell you how many people have told me that I should just quit my job and get on government benefits. A bunch of people. And just because like they say it's easy.
It is.
And because that
would be pretty.
and I would never
ironic for
do
you.
that, but there's been a lot of people, not because like I don't have anything wrong with me, just because they were like, well, you could just do that. And I can't live that life. There's no way.
Unless you actually wanted that life, you become extremely depressed.
Oh yeah, I would bet.
Just waiting on the check in the mail, blowing through it. Like, nah.
That ain't for me.
That's depressing within itself. Why not? See, that's what's wrong, man. It all brings us back. We all grew up in the time of the recession, right? I'm not trying to. Not
Sorry,
trying
get
to.
it there.
We all grew up when we had to struggle, or we struggled at some sort of point earlier in our lives. But I completely forgot what my point was.
Sound like you was
I
going
like
with the
that.
struggle.
I like that you tried though.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate. I want a fist bump over there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
we can reach or not.
Thank you.
Because that's what you do. You
Yeah.
know, every once in a while you're just like,
Yeah.
I just cast a line and I forgot. Like
I
there was
completely forgot.
I'm reeling. Somebody
Yeah,
catch
take-
somebody.
I'm just gonna keep reeling this line back in. Somebody, But I.
And the
you
one
tried.
time on this
Yeah,
network
I
that we
tried.
would talk over you.
Did you get
No,
it back
I still
yet?
don't have it. Somebody.
To be honest though, applying for any sort of assistance is actually a pain in the ass because I've had to help clients do it a lot.
Yeah,
It's a fucking pain in the ass to deal with,
it is.
and I'm not even the one getting the aid.
Right. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah,
So, like,
that
from start
time
to
you're
finish.
trying to do that, you could be applying for jobs.
Yeah.
Although,
Like, just
to be honest, the
apply.
food stand, at least the one in Indiana, takes like no more than 30 minutes, which isn't really
That's
that
his
long.
assistant. Or
I meant-
sorry, the child care. 'Cause that shit helps.
Well, I guess it's called
Oh.
SNAP benefits.
I thought
No,
it
that's
was
the
like a
food
long
stamp.
approval process. Maybe that's only Ohio.
Oh no, it is.
What the hell was
I
that?
don't know anything about child support. I don't.
You better not just pray on that one. Thank goodness you don't.
I don't. I don't have any opinions for it.
On child support.
I know it's
I'm
for
not
one.
sure if
Actually,
I
I do
wanna
have one opinion. I think
Travel.
I think you shouldn't have to pay. I think you should be forced to time instead of pay. I think that the father should be forced to spend time with the kid.
Well,
I think you should at least be shot or something, stoned some kind of way. It don't have to be death, but if you just don't fuck with your kid, like, what's wrong with you?
Stone though.
You gotta feel something that's physical.
I've got a scenario for you that
All right.
because for Mono, really sorry.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess everybody could answer it.
Yeah.
too.
Okay. We'll go take a break while you two have a little.
Anyway,
Do you want a good mic mono for this?
no, my scenario is here though. I mean, let's be honest, accidental pregnancy does happen.
What?
Where?
That is not what they told me in high school.
In
Well,
this
shit.
country,
If
No.
you're not thinking
I
about
don't
having a
think
baby,
so,
you're
buddy.
going to make a baby.
It's called abstinence, Nate. You should try it.
What's abstinence?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just being a dick at this point. What's abstinence? I don't know.
I wasn't in health
Hardly
class for that.
present in class.
That's the one where you put it in her
Yeah, exactly.
abstinence. You put it in her nits.
Oh, that's the inside of the knee, right?
the
I've
nitsies, yeah.
This is a little off topic, but this
Make
is
sure you
a-
get the right lotion. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Oh,
No,
man.
I'll just say this. I don't know if any of you have seen any like Tegan and Sarah videos or whatnot.
I'm on
but
Pornhub sometimes.
That's funny you say Pornhub because this next part's gonna be funny. They do a music video to make fun of abstinence, and it says "fuck me in the ass because I love Jesus."
Okay.
What?
Did anyone?
You never heard vagina called the vagina called God's hole?
Yes.
No, that's
but
God's
yes.
hole. Ass or mouth, not God's hole.
It's basically a comedic video.
I've known people. I went to
Yeah, I
I've
wasn't
known
making
girls
that
in
up. I
high
know it's
school that would only take it in the ass for Jesus. Like it was just like, hey, look, I have this boyfriend.
It's huge in like Middle
Yeah.
Eastern societies that are like first
That's
world
funny.
still.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Like how
Our
much are
first
flights?
world.
like Persian women. There's Catholic girls over here.
Oh yeah.
You don't need to go that far.
Yeah, we got it. Okay.
Yeah, but then I have to go sit through cult
Just go-
meetings.
At least you're not in the Pentecostal church or Quiver Fall.
anymore.
Which part of Middle Eastern you said it was?
What's that?
Which part of Middle Eastern?
Like Persian society,
Oh, it would be the Persians.
right?
They're so sick.
We're
Is
gonna
that
go
a
get
Sikh
bombed.
joke? I don't even know if they're from Persia, but I love it.
But to get back to the scenario, do you think though, instead? Come on, man! I'm trying to at least.
I know
move
you're giving it that
along.
old ramrod approach. I appreciate it. I've been you before. I've been in your spot where it's like, come on, guys, please just let me move on. Go ahead.
So what? So what if you have an accidental pregnancy and I'm just going to use this situation.
Well, there's
What-
bleach, there's stairs.
Okay, and coat hangers, but
I would. That's
wow,
barbaric.
that's brand new to me. Explain a coat hanger.
well, you can bend the coat hanger.
Oh
and
my
they
god,
would-
are you gonna explain it? Are you actually gonna...
That is very disturbing to explain, let alone just think about. Okay, go ahead, bro.
So yeah. So
Are you shitting me?
but what?
Don't worry about it. Go on.
Oh, okay. So what if the woman does not want to abort? I'm not saying anything that I agree or disagree with it, but the male can't end up forcing the woman to get an abortion, which is fine.
Of course, Kevin walks out the room for this one. Go on.
If it's not something that he wanted, why do you? I understand, there's consequences with actions, but why should he have to spend time?
There's your answer, though. There's consequences to your actions.
Yeah.
Like, when you put your dick in her, you know that might happen. Just like if you take a hit of heroin, it might kill you. Like, okay,
That's
there's
a
consequences
strong
to your
hit of
actions,
heroin.
though.
Well,
You get in a car every day. If you decide
fun
not to
of
put your
assault.
seatbelt on, you're in an accident, you die. That's your fault.
Yeah.
You knew the consequences to your
That-
actions. If you drive without insurance and you get in a car accident and you lose your ass over it, actions to your consequences.
That's the morality. It's more of a morality thing than it is like well, I guess it still falls in the common sense thing. To most people, it would be common sense, but the morality of it makes it the difference.
Well, I happened to see a story when I was on Reddit. This man was complaining because the baby mama didn't have anything to do with the child's life, but was paying more than they were supposed to for child support, and the dad was complaining about not having any sort of relationship here. Oh, hey.
Bam.
Speaking of people that would never pay child support, Lou just walked in from.
Speaking of child support, I'll tell you why I'm coming. That pretty little mouth and the way you boy pussy.
It's a mangina, thank you. I was worried about you not having a microphone, but it's fine because you project.
I was about to say I'm a guinea. That's not a.
There's
problem.
folding chairs. If you go back downstairs, you can just go get another folding chair. It'll be fine. And then you can squeeze in over between you two. Yeah.
The rose between two pricks.
Yeah,
I like
this is a greasy ass fucking
That is not a chair. That is not a chair.
but- okay, well.
That Lou,
My fat ass would break that.
thank you for saying that so I didn't have to.
Right,
I was
mean,
really afraid I was about to have to explain to him
I'm
the
a big
physics
boy.
involved here.
I mean, I am too.
Yeah, but that's,
Got some.
That's a folding table.
I really.
Kevin couldn't even fuck on that. If Kevin can't fuck on it, Lou can't sit on it.
That's a good.
Phrasing. Boom.
Can I use that rule from?
Use that or hoping you use me, Kevin. What
Well,
the fuck?
no, what I meant was
This one from 0 to 60.
I haven't seen you in forever, buddy.
Right on, folks. I think we're going to take a little break here, and we'll be right back at you in like probably 5 minutes.